Hi, welcome to another episode of Industry Expert Series. I'm Theo Law. Today I'm super excited to have my friend Michael Virley, our local auctioneer in the St. George area, the Director and Chief Auctioneer of MVP Auctions. He has done so many auctions, hundreds of them every year, with 20 years experience in sales and auctions. I believe he's one of the best in the area. Hi Michael, thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure.
So now we have a couple of questions about real estate auction in two different perspectives, both sellers and the buyer's perspective. First off, we're going to talk about purchaser's point of view. For all our audience who are in the market trying to buy properties at auction, what should they do to prepare for the auction?
It's a good question, and I think people assume there's more to do with purchasing a home via auction. I don't think there is. I think whether you're buying via auction or private treaty, you should do your due diligence, and that's encourage professional advice. Get your conveyancer or solicitor to have a look over the contract, make sure there's nothing in there that should scare you. Request any amendments if you are going to be bidding at auction to make sure that the terms of the sale you're happy with. I think that's important. Bear in mind that unconditional sales happen on auction day, so you don't get a chance to reconsider your position on auction day. So if you need to get a building report done or a strata report or see the minutes from a meeting from your strata company, do as much research as you can so you know that you're in an informed place to make the right decision for you on auction day. I would take having your finances an absolute base for that. I think if you're looking in the market, you need to know how much you've got to spend, and you need to be pre-approved to be taken seriously. And certainly I'd want to be pre-approved and be very ready to go on auction day.
Yeah. So Michael, good advice. Don't be afraid of auction. You just need to do all your due diligence, all your research prior to auction, and also have your finance line up before auction, and you're safe.
Exactly that.
It's just basically same as every other deals.
To me it's the same, but the misconception is that it's more stressful or that there's more pressure. And I think what we try to do within our industry, and what we have a right to do, is to get the knowledge out there to the market, so people aren't so scared of the whole process.
Certainly. So in your opinion, how a purchaser can make a fair and good deal at auction day? Because usually auction has a bad rap that buyers paying too much.
Yeah, it's true. But I suppose if buyers' budgets are buyers' budgets, if they stick to their budget or their stretch budget, then they have bought well. Nothing in your eyes to say to a buyer is going to really convince them.
Nothing terrible going to happen.
No.
The best thing, you buy the property.
Yeah, or the worst case scenario is you couldn't afford it,
Exactly.
or you didn't see the value.
Yeah.
So that's the great thing about it. I like the fact that auctions are transparent. You can see your competition, you can see who's bidding, what they're bidding, and you're bidding under the same terms. So it can't be any easier than that. To win at auction, you need to be the highest bidder. And if your bid is, well, the average is about sort of anywhere between 1 and 5,000 would be the last bid. So in order to win, you're only going to spend either 1 or 5,000, or maybe a little bit more than the next opinion of value. Yeah. So is that fair? Yes. And I think I think more people should be keener to get involved, because it's better than dealing with an agent behind closed doors on the phone, not sure whether there are other competitors or what their other offers are. You take all of that away with auction.
Michael, I want to ask you, are there actually bidding strategies? If there are, what are the best strategies?
There are certainly plenty of bidding strategies. I've had lots of variation thrown at me over the course of my career. I really couldn't pin my best tip to one particular strategy. I would go with an open mind to your auction, but I would go with the opinion that I'm going to participate in this auction, because you're never going to affect a result by sitting on the bench and watching it from the crowd. If you want to be involved, you want to learn from the experience, you want to try and affect the result, or put off your competition or blow away your competition, then there are strategies you can implement that will help you have this aura of confidence on the auction floor. So I think the best strategy is be prepared to open the bidding, because it shows confidence, it shows that you're there to buy it. If you compete hard with other buyers, it shows you've got confidence and you're not second guessing yourself. Be firm in your body language. If you go with that mindset, I'm buying this home, people don't know what your budget is. As long as you could bid really hard and fast all the way up to your budget and then just hand your paddle back and walk away, people who are watching might have assumed you'd have kept on going. But that's the opinion you want to put out there. But as long as you don't go past your budget or your stretch budget, you fooled the crowd. They're nervous. Everyone at an auction, from a buyer's point of view, is nervous. So having that confidence might just scare people off.
That's right. So Michael, for our audience who are buying their first home and they could get a little bit nervous about auction, what's your advice for them?
I would say seek out knowledge, seek out professional advice. As agents and auctioneers, we're here to educate the market, and we need buyers to engage in the process, we need owners to engage in the process. So don't be afraid to ask questions of the agent. Use their professional knowledge. They see a lot more auctions, they've seen every potential eventuality so many times previously. And as an agent, we want a buyer to be confident in their bidding. We want them to trust the process, to understand what's going on. So if an agent comes up to you and wants to have a chat and offer you some advice, listen to it. You don't have to take it. But knowledge is power, and confidence is key to bidding successfully.
So you're saying for all the first-time buyers in the market, take the auction as a chance to learn.
100%. Great.
Right.
Yeah, rarely would you go to your first auction as a buyer and buy your home. So if you're going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, you're going to learn more by playing the game than you are just by sitting and watching it. And you'll have more control over your emotions and your body, and you'll have more confidence in reading other people. So yeah, engagement, get involved and learn.
All the other buyers generally in the marketplace, what is your advice on placing bid at the opening?
It's a good question because every auction is different, and that's why engaging in the process and going to watch a few and then registering and bidding in a few will give you the confidence. I always think opening the bid tells everyone out there that you're here to buy it. If everyone sits there and stares at each other, nothing happens, and you're not really achieving anything, and certainly you're not going to buy it if you don't make an offer. You know that your opening bid is not going to buy the home because you're going to probably want to start below the guide price, and certainly you'd expect it to be well below the owner's expectations. So what is the harm in placing an opening bid? None whatsoever. You're not going to buy the home, but you're telling everyone you're there to buy the home. To me, that's a good energy to put out there on the floor. But again, if you're not prepared to do it, it's funny how many people aren't.
To wrap up our first section of the interview, final questions for you. As an auctioneer, what advice would you give to your mum if she's going to bid at an auction tomorrow?
That's good. That's good. She's never done it, so she's watched me do a few via video from back home in the UK. I think knowledge is key to anything. I think it depends on what kind of person you are, but I like to know as much as I can. I would track the market, and I would, if she doesn't want to do that, I would do it for her or ask a professional to do it. Or just ask your agent, can you keep me informed of properties that sell around this figure? Most agents will happily do that for you. So get your knowledge up, seek professional advice, get a good conveyancer, a good solicitor you trust. Open dialogue with the agent, so you've got a rapport and some element of trust with them. And then again, it just boils back to getting involved, setting your budget, having a stretch budget. They're the 3 best bits of advice. If she doesn't feel that confident, then, and you have a good relationship with an agent, I think we have a good relationship, I'm her son, then get the agent to help you. Bring someone along who can maybe handle the bidding for you, give them the authority to do so, who can support you, and maybe they're less likely to get involved in the emotion of it all. But I think it's a really open forum for buying real estate. So I have utmost confidence in my mum turning up and bidding at an auction, as long as she stuck to her budget.
That's gold, man. So stick with your budget, do all your due diligence, surround yourself with professional people, and you'll be fine.
Yes, I mean professional people. I don't mean your uncle or your granny who last sold a home in 1967, because often their advice can be terrible. But just seek out professional advice. People are very happy to give you advice, and agents especially. We're a fountain of knowledge. We're all over the market. So who's the right person to ask your agent? And just engage with them. We don't buy it, and we can't make you spend money. It's your decision. We're here to help.
Wonderful, Michael. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
Cheers.